Iran just named a new supreme leader, and the United States is not happy about it. This morning, Iran's Assembly of Experts officially chose Mojtaba Khamenei, the 56-year-old son of the slain Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, to lead the Islamic Republic. And that move is sending oil prices past $100 a barrel, rattling global markets, and raising one enormous question. Is this regime signaling surrender or doubling down? Joining us is the U.S. Deputy Ambassador to the United Nations, and her answer is blunt. Stay with me. We've got Tammy Bruce at the table, former State Department spokesperson, now sitting U.S. Deputy Ambassador to the United Nations, posted at Turtle Bay, across the street from 193 countries. This is not a pundit telling you what she thinks. This is someone inside the room where the president's foreign policy gets implemented on the world stage. And today, she has a lot to say. Here's what we know. Iran's father and son succession is now official. Mojtaba Khamenei, secretive, 56 years old, a Shiite cleric with deep ties to the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, was elected by Iran's Assembly of Experts on Sunday night and announced Monday morning. His father, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, was killed on the very first day of the current U.S.-Israeli military campaign, a war already in its second week. Trump had publicly said he wanted a say in who leads Iran next. He wanted someone who could work with America. He made that explicit. This morning, Reuters confirmed Trump was, quote, not happy with the choice. And you can understand why. So what does this appointment actually mean? Ambassador Bruce called it, straight up, a desperate action. Think about what the regime just inherited. The White House confirmed this week that 49 of Iran's most senior leaders have been eliminated in U.S.-Israeli strikes, including the Supreme Leader himself. The succession bench, as Trump put it, has been wiped out. Now into that vacuum steps a man who has never held elected office, a man who has not been seen in public since the war began, a man whose legitimacy rests on one thing: his last name. Bruce framed it plainly. This is a regime reacting to decimation, not operating from strength. When your entire leadership structure has been dismantled and you rush a cleric's son to the throne, that is not confidence. That is a last resort. That is what desperate looks like. But here's where the story gets more complex and more dangerous. Reports surfaced days ago, confirmed by the New York Times, the Washington Post, and Reuters, that Russia has been providing Iran with satellite intelligence. Imagery showing the locations of U.S. warships and aircraft in the Middle East. The first sign that Moscow is inserting itself into this war, not with troops, but with information. So the question put to Ambassador Bruce was pointed. Is Russia trying to drag itself into this conflict? Her answer was careful but clear. She won't speak for the president. The administration is not going to confirm or deny the specifics of an intelligence leak. But she left zero ambiguity on the bottom line. If that reporting is accurate, Trump will address it directly, with Putin, one-on-one. This is the core of the Trump foreign policy case, and Bruce made it without flinching. America first does not mean America alone. It means America leads, and when America leads well, the world benefits. Trump has built relationships across the globe. He talks to everyone: China, Russia, Gulf Arab partners, European heads of state. At the UN, in a multilateral environment of 193 nations, that kind of direct presidential engagement is not optional. It is the mechanism. Bruce's point was sharp. Trump is not trying to trick anyone. He telegraphed his intentions on Iran for 40 years. He tried diplomacy. He offered off-ramps. When those failed, when Iran refused to budge, the president acted. He's a builder, she said. He likes finishing things. He has 3 years left, and he intends to use them. Now let's talk about the people at the center of this, the women of Iran. They've lived under crushing, state-enforced oppression for 47 years. Mandatory hijab laws, morality police, arrests, beatings, killings of protesters demanding basic freedoms. The woman, life, freedom movement. And now Mojtaba Khamenei, by every credible account a hardliner, deeply embedded in the same security apparatus that killed those protesters, is in power. Any hope that a leadership transition might bring liberalization? Bruce was direct. The regime is doubling down. But she also pushed back on despair. The Iranian people, she argued, are not choosing this. They are living under it. The world has seen Iranian society through social media, the culture, the humanity, the protests. The tyrants inherited this problem. Continuing it, she said plainly, is a mistake. And here is where a real tension in American public opinion gets addressed head-on. You break it, you buy it. It's a phrase that haunted the Iraq War, and today, many Americans, from both sides of the aisle, are asking it again. We've hit Iran. We've removed its supreme leader. We're now watching a new leader take power. Are we now responsible for rebuilding that country? Is this Iraq all over again? Bruce pushed back hard on the framing. This is not nation-building, she said. There is a fundamental difference. Iraq was an outside power trying to construct something new. What's happening with Iran, in the administration's view, is a return. A return of Iran to its own people, to its pre-revolutionary identity. The Iranian people are not being handed a government. They're being given the chance to reclaim one. Whether you agree with that framing or not, that is the official U.S. position, and it matters for understanding where this goes next. Here's where Bruce pulled back the full lens. We are not just watching a news cycle. We are, in the administration's telling, watching history. Bruce's argument. Trump is not in this for the short game. He wants durable change. Change that outlasts his presidency. Change that holds for generations. He sees the next 3 years as a window, a narrow, specific window, to reset the architecture of the Middle East in a way that sticks. And she believes he understands the weight of that. She referenced the First Lady's role chairing the UN Security Council. She talked about what every American family has lived with, an Iran that has been a destabilizing force in the world for nearly half a century. The framing she offered, this is the moment when someone finally said, enough is enough, and had both the power and the will to act on it. History will render its verdict, but the claim is on the table. None of this happens without a coalition. And the coalition Bruce described isn't new, it was built. The Abraham Accords, engineered in Trump's first term, reoriented the region. Countries that had never formally cooperated with Israel found common cause. Gulf Arab nations, states that privately wanted Iran contained but couldn't say so publicly, were brought into an alignment with U.S. interests. Bruce has watched this from the UN, meeting those representatives in real time. She cited Ambassador Mike Waltz's work at the UN as part of that sustained diplomatic architecture. The argument, this is not a unilateral U.S. strike. This is the fruit of years of relationship building, a coalition that turned private Arab frustration with Iran into tangible operational support. One last note, and it's a sharp one. Britain. Keir Starmer. Trump called Starmer out publicly, saying his response to this conflict was no Churchillian moment. And the numbers back up the politics. Starmer's approval rating is in the basement. The UK's refusal to be more supportive of US operations drew a swift and pointed rebuke from Washington. Bruce's read? Fear. Leadership under pressure requires courage. Britain's closest ally is fighting a war that could reshape the Middle East for a generation, and London blinked. The British people will ultimately decide who they want leading them. But today, that gap between Washington and Westminster is real, visible, and politically significant. Deputy Ambassador Tammy Bruce. Straight answers on a breaking story with massive global stakes. Iran has a new supreme leader, a hardliner's hardliner by every credible account. Trump is not happy. Russia is in the mix. Oil just hit $100 a barrel. This story is moving fast. If you want to stay ahead of it, hit subscribe, drop your take in the comments, and stay locked in. We'll have more as this develops.